Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? Can anybody hear me out there? What are you doing, dog? Leave it. Will you go lay down? You're being goofy already. Well, hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. How is everybody? King of Chuck, hey man, how you doing? Palm Limit, hello. Sitting on my computer editing safety videos for work. Okay. Can hear you, but not see you. Now I can see you. Okay. Go lay down. You're going to start like this, you're going to get in trouble quickly, dog. Go lay down. Hey, King of Chuck, I meant to comment to you. I don't know if you saw my last comment at the last live stream that you commented on. You mentioned something about getting a job, and I hope you do realize I have a job. That comment made me think about that. Maybe you just don't understand or see where I'm at or what I'm doing, but it's all good. It's all good. Anyhow, I'll give it a few minutes for people to roll in here. Usually takes some time. YouTube's been really bad about getting announcements out to everybody. I actually announced this live stream over an hour ago, and it's just now I'm putting it up, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I can't seem to get them to get things up in a timely manner and to get notices out to everybody in a timely manner. So I don't know. We will see. So Palm Limit, what's going on with you, man? Some comments were coming in, now all of a sudden the comments have stopped. Are you guys still hearing me? Are you receiving this? There he is, okay. I followed you for over a year. When you returned to Ohio, you getting a job for the interim. Yeah, and I tried, man. I tried. I literally sent out hundreds, if not maybe 1,000, hundreds anyway, resumes to various businesses and stuff. And nobody wants to hire a 59-year-old fat guy. So didn't have any success whatsoever trying to find employment, even though we did try. So, no, going back to my original idea of selling real estate, which has always worked for me in the past and will continue to. Dog, go lay down. Kennel. Now, you're going to be disruptive. You can just go lay down. I don't know what's into her today, but she's been all up in my face all day today. Holding the couch down, watching Netflix. So there you go, Palm Limit. Nothing wrong with that. I can understand that. So anyhow, let's go ahead and get started. We're a couple minutes into this and see if and whoever happens to roll in. Simon, hey man, how you doing? Just popped in to say hi. Off to sleep now. Hope all is good and well, and congrats on your license to sell realty again. Yeah, hard one getting that back. I was surprised at how much of an uphill battle that was going to be, but yep, all the processes are done. You know, I had been licensed in Florida before, and so I kind of thought it was going to be a whole lot easier doing it over again, but no. In fact, it was even more difficult the second time than it was the first. So, but that's all good. Hey, Drugless man, how you doing? Out celebrating Claire's birthday at our favorite seafood restaurant. Well, there you go. Cool, man. Our favorite seafood restaurant. Where would that be, Doug? I know my favorite seafood restaurant in New York was probably Jimmy's Backyard there in Port Washington, but I doubt you're there. Anyhow, no, the reason I wanted to do a live stream, aside from the fact I haven't done one in a while, I put out a lot of content this week, and I was surprised, even though I put out a lot of content in this last 10 days or so, I've been surprised at how many of my viewers are like, oh, hey, Grandpa, I haven't heard from you in a while. I want to make sure you're okay. I'm like, dude, I put out like 6 videos this week. So I found that to be kind of odd that people were saying to me that I wasn't putting out content. And I thought I was putting out plenty. But no, the thing that's been kind of wearing on me, not wearing on me, but I'm kind of curious about. And I see we've got, just 15, 16, 17 folks rolled in here so far. So not a lot of folks, but certainly all the good-looking people are here. What is it about the sailing lifestyle that attracts so many people? The idea of getting on a sailboat and sailing around the world, or just being on a sailboat and sailing, the Bahamas or something. What is it that makes that so attractive to so many people? Why does it motivate so many people to watch and follow all of these sailing videos? There's like 120 channels right now, 120 YouTube creators creating sailing genre videos right now. Some of them are okay. Some of them are pretty good. A couple of three of them are pretty good. A couple of them are real crap, but there's a whole bunch of them. And so I'm wondering what it is about that genre that seems to motivate and interest so many people. So if you're on here and you're sitting there watching and not commenting, let us know. Jump in there, say hello, and let us know what it is about it that is of interest to you. Why you think you want to go buy a sailboat and go sailing. So Popeyes and Bethpage been coming here for over 20 years. Oh, okay, cool. I don't think I've ever eaten there. Is that like the chain store Popeyes, or is that Poppies or Popies? I don't know how you're spelling that, Doug. You'll have to clarify. But I know, isn't there like a Popeyes restaurant that's kind of like a chain store, the chain restaurants? Maybe I'm getting that wrong. Thought there was. Anyhow, I don't know. You guys will have to put it up in the comments. So, anyhow, no response to that question. Why anybody would want to go sailing? Well, that was kind of what I was hoping to discuss during this, but apparently nobody has any ideas on that. So, we'll move on, and then maybe somebody will pop in here in a little bit. Watched a video this week put out by a channel called Drenched, Drenched. I support these guys. They're a great channel. Love the stuff they're doing. They tend to do more scuba diving related stuff, or at least that seems to be their theory, but they still put out a lot of sailing content. They've been down sailing with some of the other people that are very well known to everybody, like Rick Moore. They were out on Rick's boat for a while and doing stuff. But they did a video this week where they were in Florida and they went to one of these shark the shark feeding type video or organizations where you go and you go out with them on a scuba dive trip, and they take you out and they drop you down in a certain spot, and they bring out a whole bunch of chum and fish, and they feed sharks. And so therefore this naturally attracts a lot of sharks to where you're diving, and some of the big boys, the hammerheads and the tiger sharks and the bull sharks, some of the guys who have a history and reputation for being pretty nasty, show up, and so you see these guys hand feeding them and playing them with them and what have you. And I, as a conservationist, I really dislike seeing that kind of operation happening. I think it presents the sharks in an unnatural way. Sharks want to hunt. They don't want to be fed. Sure, they'll come in and be fed and get the easy food. They'll always take advantage of that, but it's typically not their nature. And so it was disturbing to watch this video of them scuba diving with all these sharks around them, and the sharks clearly just in there trying to get whatever fish morsels that they were hand feeding them, and not really in there like they would normally be. Not that I'm a fearmonger type diver. I'm not going to tell you sharks are a super bad thing, that every shark in the ocean is just out there to come running up to you and biting you and eating you. But they're not little puppy dogs. They're not meant to be petted and played with like a litter of puppy dogs. So I just found that to be disturbing watching that video. So I wanted to make the comment that those sort of operations are not a good thing in my mind, but maybe they are. I don't know. Congrats on getting your Florida real estate license spelled correctly. Privately owned by family. Oh, right, cool. Hey, Austin, how you doing there, man? No notification again. Austin, I put out a announcement for this video, because you can schedule your video. So I posted a schedule. It should have been out 6 hours ago. Literally at noon, 1 o'clock, I put out an announcement that we were doing these videos. Austin, did you, when you on my channel, did you click on the bell so that you receive all notifications? Because I don't understand why they wouldn't have notified you. And so you know, Austin, I just started this video 10 minutes ago, this live stream. So you haven't missed a lot, but I don't know what's going on with YouTube, man. They're screwing up in a lot of ways right now. So they're the top of the food chain in salt water. That's true, Doug. They are. Sharks are absolutely top of the food chain. Well, not really. Human beings are still top of the food chain. We kill a whole lot more sharks than sharks kill us every year. That's for sure. But Papa Truck Prep Stetter, hey guy, how you doing, man? Nice to see you here. I kept checking your channel page for this, and yes, I have clicked the notifications. I'll be damned. Well, Austin, I don't know what to tell you, man. I tried. I put together the schedule thing so that 6 hours ago it would come out to everybody and let them know I was going to be doing a live stream, but going to have to figure out something else. You know, I think a lot of it's just being able to do these on a regular scheduled basis. So that everybody knows, you know, it's Sunday at 7 or whatever, like I was doing when I was up in Alaska. Maybe I need to be getting back to that. My family here has been sort of interrupted that because we've been having Sunday dinners and stuff here, but I'll see if I can't figure out another schedule to be able to do these on a regular scheduled basis. That way people just know that when they're going to be. Although I noticed a lot of the sailing channels were doing live streams, and now all of a sudden it's like nobody's doing live streams anymore. I find it kind of odd. Everybody was doing live streams there for a while, and now nobody's doing a live stream. I haven't seen another channel do a live stream in a while. In fact, I think the last one I saw was Sailing Ruby Rose. So, hello, Austin Adventures. How you doing, man? Let's see. Palmer says, doesn't chumming for sharks make sharks associate people with food? Exactly, yeah. And that's exactly what you don't want. You don't want sharks swimming around the ocean saying, oh, there's a scuba diver. He has food. Well, let's go check him out. That's not the reaction we want. So, yeah, very definitely a bad situation, Palm Levitt. Austin, I'm doing great, man. How you doing? Sundays and Wednesdays. Not sure what you mean by Sundays and Wednesdays, but okay. I notice sometimes I have to like the live stream more than one time. Really? You have to hit the thumbs up button, you mean, more than one time? Huh. I know YouTube's having all kinds of challenges that's going on right now. And talk about bad timing for YouTube, because they're getting hammered right now. A lot of people are going over to Twitch, which to me is typically a video channel for gamers. But a lot of folks are switching over to Twitch and starting to put some stuff up there. YouTube better get their act together, or they're going to be losing market share pretty substantially. So when you have your live streams, and I've run into the thumbs up issue too. Huh. I've not been watching, be honest with you, I've not been watching really hardly any videos lately. So I've not been thumbing up hardly any videos because I've just been busting ass working here. So I don't know. We'll have to check. I'll have to look at that and see if I've had the same problem. Steam It? Yeah, Steam It's another channel. Although I think I don't know if Steam It's getting the traction right now that some of the others are. There's going to be a lot of them popping up, and you know it's going to take a lot to dethrone YouTube as being the primary source for videos. I mean, YouTube's going to have to really screw up a lot, but YouTube is screwing up a lot, so we'll have to see. I heard there was a shooting at YouTube headquarters. Yes, interesting subject. Yes, there was a shooting at YouTube headquarters. Surprisingly, and I meant to talk about this, I'm glad you brought that up. Surprisingly, it was a female shooter, which is very rare. But what's even more rare is she was a female Muslim who was an animal rights activist and you know, a staunch advocate for animal rights. and she had been putting some videos up on YouTube all about how we shouldn't be killing animals, and that we should be protecting animals, and she just was on and on and on and on, almost to the extent that she was a bit over the top with it. And I guess with YouTube demonetizing so many videos that they've been doing lately, saying that they're not fit for their viewers, which of course her rants on all this animal rights activism kind of stuff fell into. I mean, she's one of those people that throws blood on people, that kind of crazy stuff. So a lot of her videos got demonetized, and she got angry about that, and that's what precipitated her going down to YouTube headquarters. I just thought it was interesting that here's an animal rights activist that we shouldn't kill animals, but it's okay to kill people. I never understand that ideology with some of these folks. Don't go out hunting and kill Bambi. If you do, I'm going to shoot you and kill you. Well, I'm sorry, but I think human beings are more valuable than animals. Maybe you might disagree with that, but if I have to put down an animal to save a human being, I'm going to do that every time. So, a sense of freedom and escape from the confines of the modern world. There you go, Alan. Okay. A sense of freedom and escape. So that's your reasoning for wanting to go sailing, huh? Okay. And escape from the confines of the modern world. Got to go. Talk to you later. Okay, Doug, take care, man. Good to be an early adapter of whomever rises as the main competitor of YouTube. Yeah, King of Chuck, but you can burn a lot of rubber jumping on a lot of things that aren't quite there yet. So I myself am not planning on putting videos up on any other format other than YouTube for now. My target market, in my estimation, is still on YouTube. Maybe some of the younger kids are going to some of these other formats and stuff, but I don't think the people that are watching the sailing videos are necessarily going to spend a lot of time on some of these other channels, or video providers. So, hey, Outcast, man, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a long time. Not all humans are more valuable than animals. Well, that's true, Austin. But generally speaking, I think so. Everyone has heard of YouTube, the others maybe not. Okay, Austin, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, so you haven't heard of Steam It, and you haven't heard of some of these others. I don't care for the format of the others from what I've seen so far. I just don't care for the format. And they don't have the view count. They don't have the numbers there. The people aren't there in sufficient quantities. So I don't know. Maybe they'll grow and we'll watch. But, there's been so many of these social media channels that have started up and fallen to the wayside. I'm a little leery jumping in whole hog. I don't really do a lot with Twitter or Instagram. Most of my content is YouTube and some on Facebook. I know I use Facebook a lot for marketing my real estate stuff, but I'm kind of, a YouTube. I think the people that are watching the kind of videos that I want to make are on YouTube. Now, the people that I would like to reach for some of the content I'm going to be making will be on some of these other formats. And so that's something that I'm looking at. But as a general rule, no, I think my majority of my videos are going to be right here. So I'll stick with YouTube, I know, and it's free. Yeah, Austin, you make a good point there. It's free. Television, media has always been free. In my guesstimation, in my understanding, it's always been free. It wasn't until the advent of cable companies and satellite television providers that we started paying for television. Prior to that, all television was free. All media was free. All video format media was free. And that business model has worked very well for decades. And so it probably will continue to work very well for decades because human beings are still human beings. But I don't know. Papa Truck says, I'm going to can my Facebook. Yeah, some people are upset with Zuckerberg. I don't do Facebook. I never trusted that Zuckerberg bugger. Yeah, a lot of that, I hear that. Frankly, I don't have anything all that shocking or important that I'm worried about anybody knowing about me. I mean, I guess when you get to a certain age, you just don't really give a rat's ass anyway anymore. You know, my credit's so bad that nobody wants to steal my identity. I can assure you. So I guess that's been my best defense. So I laugh at all of these. I get solicited all the time that I don't have the latest greatest software on my computer to protect me from whatever problems that may pop up. And I'm sorry, I don't buy into that whole fear-mongering marketing concept. I was listening to something earlier today on Gary Vaynerchuk. He did a brunch meeting with some people that bought a whole bunch of his books. And he was talking to one guy on there, and the guy's selling water systems. And part of his marketing spiel for selling his water treatment systems to people is, oh, well, it helps remove the fluoride, it helps remove the chlorine, or it helps remove all these really bad things from your water to protect your family. Yes, it does. However, any normal, thoughtful individual is going to recognize that when you deal with water, everything's in parts per million. And the fact that there's a little bit of fluoride in there, I don't agree with having fluoride in my water. I don't like that. But I'm not going to go out and spend $3,500 to put in a treatment system on my water supply to take whatever may chlorine there may be in my water out of my water. I'm just not going to do that. You can get chlorine out of your water by just putting the water in a container, putting it in a refrigerator. It off gases the chlorine. But what I really found bad about this guy's whole approach is that he was using fear-mongering as a means of selling his product. I've been in sales my whole life, and I'm pleased to say that I've never used fear-mongering to sell a product. Real estate, there's no fear-mongering in selling real estate. Your house isn't going to burn down. It's not going to melt. It's not going to make you sick. You're not going to die from some health issue because you didn't buy a house from me. I mean, that just doesn't work that way. So I got this weird spot in my hair that's bothering me. There we go. Sorry about that. Looking at the video, everything's on the wrong side. So I got to take care of my due, so I look good for the ladies. Channels like HBO could use the fees to put 60 to 80 million into each season. Well, sure, they can. And that's all well and good, but I don't subscribe to HBO. I don't pay extra for HBO. I have television here in the cabin where I'm staying at because my ex-wife happens to have a TV system that's connected to her Wi-Fi. So I get it over the internet. Up in Alaska, I didn't have TV except for the longest time, but then I did get Dish Network so I could watch football games. That was the only way I could watch a football game. They're not online. So I think more and more of these companies, like as an example, HBO, I know you can now subscribe to HBO through the internet and watch HBO.com and pay them directly to watch some of their stuff. So, yeah. Of course, then again, I kind of wish I had $60 to $80 million to put into each season of my shows. Could you imagine the content that I could provide for that? Unbelievable. Papa Truck says, LOL. Same, Mom, only 24, but I don't have anything to hide. Let them see it. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing going on in my life that's so precious or noteworthy. No one's going to steal my identity. I don't keep my banking information online anyway, so it's not like they're going to hack into it and go take money out of my bank account. There's not enough money in my bank account to bother with. Oh well. When to believe you'll get down to Florida? Sooner than later. I don't have a definite date on that, Outcast. I have been busting the hump doing marketing. In fact, all right, so yeah, this is the This is the product of my efforts for the last 2 days. It took me a whole day to compile a list. Compile a list, generate the database, write out the envelopes, put stamps on them, folding, stuffing. Each letter is individually personalized to a particular homeowner about their particular property. So it's a very slow process to do that. That batch is like batch number, I don't know, 14 or 15 that I've mailed out in the last 10 days. So I have been really busy, although that marks the end of my expired listings, which is what I've been following up in the Florida market. That's where I started with the expired listings. Those people that had property on the market and for whatever reason it didn't sell. So I've been really working hard trying to get to that end. But now I'm starting to. I got my first phone call yesterday, and I'm hoping I'll start getting some more this week now as a result of that marketing. People will be responding, and so I'm hoping that I'll pick up a couple listings down there pretty quickly, in which case I'll have to make a run down to Florida to put signs up and take videos and pictures and that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping here pretty soon I have to make a run down there. Not sure yet how I'm going to afford to do that, but I'm going to work that out. So no doubt will involve sleeping in my truck. I can assure you that. But so hopefully pretty soon. I just want to have a beer with you. Hey, man, Outcast, that'd be awesome. I'd love to have a beer with you. So, yeah, Papa Truck's in the Panhandle. Where are you at, Outcast? And there's some other people that wanted me to stop by, too. I don't think I'm necessarily going to take the fast route down. It just depends on my situation. There's a few other people along the way that wanted me to stop in and visit with them and, you know, spend a day out fishing or just say hello or have drinks and cocktails or a dinner or whatever. So at least it's warm in Florida for sleeping in trucks. Man, Austin, you got that right. That was something I was not going to do when I was driving down from Alaska. It was too cold to be sleeping in my truck driving down the Alcan and stuff. But yeah, down there, I don't mind. Outcast is in St. Petersburg. Okay. How are you funding your venture? So far, King of Chuck, well, how I'm funding my venture is I am selling my truck, or at least I'm trying to. However, while I was waiting for my truck to sell, and I have some folks interested, just nothing concrete yet, I went ahead and borrowed some money against my truck. But I think I may have worked out a way of getting some of my equity out of my truck and still keeping my truck. I'm going to work on that this week and see if that pans out for me, but we'll have to see. So, but that's how I'm funding my little venture. Right now it's snowing here in Minneapolis area. Yeah, I know, man. It snowed here last night. I woke up this morning to snow on the ground. I'm over it, man. I am sick of winter. I am sick of snow. After being up in Alaska for the last, better part of the last decade, I am fed up with all the white plague. I want to get someplace warm. I want to put my feet in the water, my ass in the sand, So, cool that works. Yep, that's how I'm doing it, man. Out of my own pocket. Out of my own pocket, using the equity that I have in my truck. I paid cash for my truck. I typically pay cash for everything, so I have a lot of equity in it, so I'm trying to use up some of that equity, but we'll see. It all melted about a week ago. We got a foot of it. Wow. Yeah, I don't miss that. Friends of mine in Montana just sent me pictures. They got a big dusting here the other day. They got about 3 or 4 inches of snow just a couple days ago. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, I'm so glad I don't live there anymore. I just can't do the cold anymore. I really can't. A decade ago up in Alaska, man, it didn't bother me a bit. I'd go up there and it was cold. That was fine with me. I could put a coat on, put some gloves on. Hell, I'd run around most of the time with not more than a T-shirt with a hoodie on and not even the winter boots. And I could run around like that up there and it was fine with me. But now it seems like it really just gets into my bones and I get chilled. I know that happened here just this past week. I got chilled here in Ohio. So Need to get someplace warm and warm me up. Although I must admit, this Australian grape juice I'm drinking is warming me up pretty good. One of my viewers across the pond recommended a little yellowtail Merlot. And I just happened to have seen a bottle, so I picked up a bottle of yellowtail Merlot. And that's what I'm enjoying while I'm talking to you guys here. A little wine this evening. No beer. Do have a couple cans of beer, but I'm saving them for later. Okay, well, boy, you guys aren't very talkative today. Everyone's pretty quiet. We got 30 people or so watching, and no one's saying anything. Say hello, guys. Step up and say hello. Be bold. We don't bite much. Hello, Terry Parmenter. How you doing, man? It just wasn't it warm so I can paint my boat and splash it for the season. Yeah, right? Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of boats, man. I've been looking at a lot of boats. There is so many good opportunities to be had right now. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to look at buying something really down dirty and cheap initially, so that I've got some place to operate out of, sort of a floating office for myself, a floating campsite, if you will. To work out of. So I'm going to look at something in that, less than $10,000, $12,000 range piece of crap sailboat that I can keep down in the Florida Keys so I can use it to work out of. And then by November, I hope to step that up into, something in that $80,000 to $100,000 range as we get into the end of hurricane season and get into some better weather. So, Declan, hey man, how you doing? Long time no chat. I hope all's well. Everything is awesome, Declan, man. Haven't seen you in a long time. Yep, everything is fine. Working hard, planning my work and working my plan. That's about all I can say. Might be moving to Port Charlotte because it's easier to live and work on it in a yard. Oh, there's a good idea. Port Charlotte, huh? Isn't that up on the Panhandle? I think Port Charlotte, isn't that up on the inside of the curve of the Panhandle for Florida? I don't know. Don't know the state of Florida as well as what I probably should. I mean, I know the Florida Keys area real well, but I don't know the rest of the state as well as I should. You're usually too late for me to watch, mate. Yeah, I know, man. You're over there. Sorry about that. Maybe I'll start trying to do these a little earlier. Or change them another day. I don't know. But I need to get them set up so I'm doing them on a regular schedule. Somebody earlier suggested, I think, Sundays and Wednesdays. That's what I was doing when I was up in Alaska, Wednesdays and Sundays. That was a bit too much, especially right now with me working the way I am. But maybe I'll start doing, because I don't really see, correct me if I'm mistaken, guys, but I don't really see anybody else in the sailing genre doing live streams lately. So maybe I'll start doing something like on, I don't know, what, Friday nights maybe? Sunday nights, my family sometimes gets together for family dinner. So after the arguments we had last Sunday, I don't think we're going to have a Sunday dinner for a while. My oldest son and I kind of got into it a little bit, but that's to be expected. By Fort Myers. Oh, okay. All right, by Fort Myers. Okay, it's all good. Good deal, Declan. Yeah, I don't know. Have you guys seen anybody else? Sailing Ruby Rose, I think, was the last live stream that I've seen in a while that anybody in the sailing genre put out. This might not be too popular among this group, but the more research I do, the more a Power Cat seems like the boat for me. Well, you don't know a cool name. It all depends on your application and what you want to do with it. My problem with Power Cats or any of the power boats is you're really limited on range. It's very difficult and very expensive to run an engine to take you around the globe. Plus, it's really noisy and annoying. Whereas sailboats, once you get out of harbor, you can pull the sails up, use the trades, and go from point A to point B and travel around the world. If it's not your intention to cross oceans, however, if you're just planning on staying like in the Florida area, the Bahamas, then sure, a Power Cat could be just fine for that. Friday sounds good to me. Okay, Outcast, I'll keep Friday and Saturday would be great. But if not, then it's all good. Okay, Declan, good to know. Yeah, range would be an issue. Yep, selling Ruby Rose is the last one. Not even a video from Doodles in a couple of weeks. Well, he's crossing the ocean and he's, in Hiva Oa and those areas. I imagine, if he's still alive, which I'm sure he is, he's not in places where there's a lot of internet. So I expected there to be a dearth of content coming from him. What I actually expected was, and I think we saw that with his last video that came out, is he recorded some stuff ahead of time and scheduled them to be released while he was crossing the ocean. So there was some content coming out, but not anything accurate to the timeline. So I don't know. I hope Bobby's doing good. I really do. I worry about him, but I hope he's doing good. So anyhow, so that's kind of all I wanted to find out about, is what it was that made people tick. Why do you want to go sailing? What is it about the sailing lifestyle that intrigues so many people? Because I don't see, maybe I shouldn't say this, I don't see as many of the YouTube creators in the sailing genre really addressing, I think, well, as was mentioned earlier, people want to disconnect from society as we know it. You want the privacy and the quiet and the peace of mind, getting away. And I don't really see where all these people are talking about that. They're talking about all the problems that they have without sailing, and this is breaking and that's breaking, and that just makes it seem like trading one problem for another. Yeah, you may not be mowing your yard anymore, but you're scraping the bottom in a dirty, muddy marina. You're fixing toilets and plumbing, instead of fixing your house, painting your living room, you're fixing toilet plumbing. It's just a trade-off. It's not the kind, I don't really see a lot of them putting out the content that feeds the fire. As much as I would see that kind of stuff happening in like the print media, magazines and stuff. Bob Bitchin's magazine, Latitudes and Attitudes, very much inspired a lot of people to want to go out and go on boats and go sailing. But he rarely would have any negative content in there. It was always, sure, there'd be boat maintenance and some boat work projects and stuff like that. But it really didn't paint such a negative picture that I think so many of the sailing, cruising people do. Actually, it kind of frustrates me sometimes to listen to these guys piss and moan and bitch all the time. I'm like, dude, you're on a sailboat in the tropics. Beautiful beaches, bikini babes, and beer, and you're bitching about stuff. I don't want to hear it. So, Doodles in the middle of the Pacific. Yep, that's what I figured he would be. I haven't seen a live stream from many lately either, but did you see Leo's pile of live oak that he bought for Tally Ho? $28,000. Ouch. No, I did not see that. Wow, that's a lot of money. Guys, I've not been watching a lot of video lately. I have been working so hard. I try to watch some video while I'm working, and even then, what video I do watch, I'm really not paying much attention to. So I'm really limiting myself to only a few of the people that I normally follow. They made it across. He did send online that they couldn't get good Wi-Fi to upload. Yeah, I figured that would be the way. Problems equals drama equals views. I don't necessarily agree with that, No Cool Name. A lot of people talk about having drama on their stuff. I think if you created content that fueled the fire without the drama, and not to say that you want to paint a unrealistic view of things. I'll give you an example, okay? I was watching a guy, he's got a fishing show where he's on a kayak out of Key West, okay? And he's out kayak fishing, and he was trying to catch tarpon, and instead of catching tarpon, he was catching a whole bunch of blacktip sharks. And he was having a ball with it. These sharks were dragging him all over the place, but the guy couldn't see it. All he could see is that he's trying to catch tarpon, and all he's catching is sharks, and oh, what a waste of time they are, and how much he hated catching these sharks and stuff. Meanwhile, I'm thinking to myself, man, you're out there on your kayak out of Key West having a ball fishing, got your line bent, you're cranking away, you're fighting fish. It's just a lot of fun. I wish I could be there doing that. And all this guy is doing is bitching and complaining about it. And so I made a comment on his channel saying, that kind of negative attitude, when you're out there having fun, what so many of your viewers would want to be doing, and here you're just pissing and moaning about it, falls kind of on deaf ears. And I was actually surprised that a couple of his viewers came to his defense, and told me that I should mind my own business and whatever. And I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to help the guy's channel. I don't think anybody who's making YouTube content that puts out negative stuff, like I'm doing right now, is necessarily good for building their channel. So, funny you say that my channel won't be like that at all. You will see shortly. No, I'm not saying my channel won't be like that, Outcast. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I mean, I put out negative shit all the time. And I put out, unfortunately put out drama. I've had way too much damn drama in my life. And I'd really like to kind of put that stuff behind me quite a bit. But don't you guys think that kind of, don't you guys get kind of upset with that? You hear some guy on a 70,000 or 200. Yeah, here's somebody out there like Gone with the Winds out on their $300,000 catamaran and, their YouTube channel. They've got 150,000 subscribers and they're making $200,000 or $100,000 a year out on their boat. And they're bitching about something. It's just like, really? Really? You guys have life by the balls and you're complaining about it. I don't care to hear from that stuff. So Austin Redmond says, I don't want to go sailing unless I can afford a decent deck salon in the 40-foot range. I like my comforts. Well, certainly I understand that, Austin. But I will say this much. That attitude will keep you on the shore instead of out having fun. I would love to do the same thing. Frankly, I would love to have a Lagoon 440. I want a 44-foot catamaran. Or a 45, somewhere in the $500,000 to $1.5 million range was what I would really like to have. But my ex-wife put that as the requirement. She wasn't going to go sailing unless we had that. And so, a decade of my life went by without that. Right now, I'd be perfectly happy if I had, my little $10,000, $12,000 sailboat again, $20,000 sailboat. I'd be thrilled to have that right now. I wish I never sold my boat up in Alaska. I should have cleaned it up, fixed it up, and sailed it down the West Coast. In hindsight being 2020. So, yeah, ideally, I'm going to make enough money so I can improve myself and have a better boat. But I'm going to do that while I'm down in the Florida Keys where I'm out sailing, scuba diving, and having fun while I'm doing that. So, is Tally-Ho a boat or just a pattern for a new boat? I don't know. I think it's a boat that he's building. He's really building Tally-Ho. It's a 105-year-old sailboat. Well, there's your answer. There you go. My point is, what is left of the original boat? Just saying. Oh, right. I get you. Well, and that's true of so many boats. You go in and you rebuild them. You just might as well have started with a new boat. I'm going to sail the Great Lakes on a 23-foot boat. There you go. There's the spirit, Austin. Nothing wrong with that, man. My point is, what is left of the original boat? Austin, you're talking about selling the Great Lakes on a 23-foot boat. There's the Albin Vega 27-foot boat. There's a channel called Leia on YouTube. They have an Albin Vega 27, I believe it is. And they've sailed it from the Pacific Northwest to Alaska and back twice. There's also a guy, Matt Rutherford, is that his name, Matt? I don't remember. That, 10, 12 years ago, the guy took a Albin Vega 27 and sailed he did a circle around North America. He did the entire Northwest Passage and around Alaska, down the West Coast, all the way down around the Cape of South America and back up and did a complete circumnavigation. And I think it's a Albin Vega 27 as well. So, there's some, you can have a lot of adventure on a small boat. You really can. By the way, he did that single-handed nonstop. Nonstop means that he never dropped an anchor. He never tied to a dock. The boat never stopped moving when he circumnavigated the Americas. Took him almost a year, all by himself on that boat. And at no other time, at no point did he get on or off the boat. And at no time did that boat ever get tied to a dock or anchor or anything like that. It was constantly moving or bobbing out in the ocean. You know, we didn't have wind, but constantly moving. So pretty cool. Let's see. And I get what you mean about tally-ho. It's pretty much a shell. Sure. Yeah. 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 And the problem with that is, Austin, with rebuilding some of the boats like that, I mean, I've rebuilt homes before, and it would have been cheaper for me to have bulldozed the house, started at the ground, and built a brand new house than it would be to have worked with the old house and try to repair all the damage and poorly designed stuff that was designed in it and try to bring it up to modern standards. Because it's still, even though it was new and clean and nice inside, the foundation and the structural design of the house still had some functional obsolescence in the way we live today. So I'm not a big fan of doing that, of taking a 105-year-old sailboat and rebuilding it. Be better off if you wanted to just build a brand new boat, the same style and techniques that they built back then. So, but what the hell, that's just me. So, well, anyhow, guys, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? I was really kind of hoping to talk to you guys about your thoughts on what it is about the sailing lifestyle and the sailing genre that has so many people interested. And so far, only one person has given me a decent answer. So the rest of you guys have got to come up with something and let me know. I'll be an asshole for a minute. Come on, guys. Tell me your thoughts. Seriously. What is it about this that makes it interesting to you? And you know, I'm just the Richard Noggin to ask you guys to really give me an answer to that. So just need to paint it now. Cool. Do you follow Selling Miss Lone Star? Yes, Palm Limit. I have been following her. She's one of the channels actually that I have been following lately. And I have to admit, I am really proud of her for what she's been doing. Aubrey has really turned her life around. She, for a while there, had a lot of negative stuff going on with her about her kids and her ex-husband or boyfriend or whatever he was. And the guy hit her, and there was a bunch of nonsense drama. And but Aubrey seems to have found her stride, and she's putting out some decent content, and I'm happy to see what she's doing. So yeah, I kind of like what Selling Miss Lone Star is doing right now. I'll be interested to see her get back on her boat that she bought for $1 and started fixing up, and seeing what she's going to do now to fix up the rest of that. But I found their adventures over on the east coast of Africa, west coast, East Africa, as being pretty interesting stuff. So, not so. Not okay. I'm an outcast, so I don't like most people. I understand that, man. I understand that. She is bad, I'm telling you. Austin, you think Aubrey's bad? Okay, you'll have to go into more detail about that. I don't know. I mean, I think the jury's still out. She seems to be putting out some pretty good content. But I don't know. You never do really know somebody on YouTube. I mean, you see what they're putting up, but keep in mind that unless you're doing a live stream, it's all edited, selective stuff that's being displayed. Live streams are the only time you really see somebody for who they really are, because it's not scripted. I don't have time to prepare an answer for something. You ask me a question, I answer it right off the cuff. So I think that's a bit more honest response. But could you spend 4 months a year exploring the Caribbean for a decade without getting bored? Oh, hell yes. Oh my God, 4 months a year in the Caribbean for a decade, you won't even scratch the surface, man. You won't even scratch the surface. Um, so many of the YouTube creators, I have to admit, so many of them just blow right on through the Caribbean, and yet it's one of the best destinations in the world for sailing. Well, look at Rick Moore, Captain Rick Moore on his channel. Sailing Sophisticated Lady is the name of his boat, or it used to be the name of his channel. Now it's just Captain Rick Moore. I don't think Rick's ever been out of the Caribbean. He's always been selling the Caribbean. All of his content's been in the Caribbean. You could create content from the Caribbean forever. You could sail the Caribbean forever and not really know all the Caribbean. I mean, there's a whole shitload of islands to hit. You could spend 4 months a year for the next decade, no cool name 32, and not even get a firm handle on the Bahamas, let alone the rest of the Caribbean. Especially when you realize the Caribbean includes the coast of Mexico and Belize and Guatemala and Panama and northern Venezuela, and I mean, there's a lot more to it than just the British Virgin Islands or USVI or Bahamas. Cuba, Puerto Rico. I mean, there's a lot to the Caribbean. So I've been really enjoying her videos. Yeah, Austin, I have too. I really kind of got a kick out of watching the monkey stuff. About the monkey. I found that interesting. So. And yet she was very careful on how she handled that politically. So I thought she did a masterful job of that. People like to brag on her, but she is a hard worker, really talented, quite lovely too. Yeah, she's still a bit out there, and I am concerned that she has her daughter with her, but not her son. My personal criticisms. But other than that, I think Audrey's putting out some pretty good stuff right now. Being able to answer a question off the cuff doesn't make you more honest by any means. No, that's not what I'm saying, Chuck. It's just you get a more open representation of who the person is, because all the content that comes out in my videos, if I put out a video, if anybody puts out a video, I had to film it, and then I may have taken 3 or 4 takes to get that the way I wanted it to sound and be. Then I bring it in and I edit it so I have a chance to review it. Do I really want to say that? Is that how I want to present myself? Or I go out and reshoot something. So when I'm making videos for my YouTube channel, you talk about these guys talking about how much work it is to edit a video. Most of that is editing themselves, scripting themselves to try to mold the content. It's only when you have a live stream like this that it's totally uncontrolled. But I have no control over this right now, except you ask me a question, I shoot my mouth off. I don't really take the time to think about it 3 or 4 or 5 times like I do when I'm producing a video before I upload it onto YouTube. That's what I'm saying. So that's awesome to hear. Made my day. Haha, worried I wasn't dreaming big enough. No cool name. No problem, man. If what you have is 4 months available each year for the next decade, you probably won't even get bored with the Bahamas during that time period. It's misrepresented and misleading by her, all of it. I spent time with her and Rob. They showed us how they did it. He didn't want any more of it. Now, Outcast Rob was her old boyfriend, right? Is that what you're saying? And yes, when you're making videos, it's very scripted. And so they might be misrepresenting exactly who they are. You really, and that was my point, King of Chuck. When a YouTube creator is creating content, they're actors. So you really don't know who they are. You kind of get a feel for what they're doing, but you never really know somebody. All I can tell from the content I've seen is that she seems to be doing some pretty good stuff. But is it scripted? Yes, I'm sure it is. Is it really who Aubrey is? Probably not. But I like watching Sailing Uma as well. Yeah, Sailing Uma is pretty good. Although, man, I think the repaint job they did on their boat was awesome. It looks great. But those guys have really just gotten beaten up. I kind of laugh a little bit at them right now. I get a bit of a giggle from Sailing Uma because the very beginning I told them, man, you really want to have a diesel engine on that boat. You really need a motor on that boat. Oh, we're going to get a dinghy and just row it. Well, you really want an outboard motor on your dinghy. And now what do they want? An outboard motor on the dinghy, and they want a motor in their boat now. So it took them a year of getting their ass kicked and handed to them too many times for them to realize that there's a reason why most sailboats have a diesel motor in them. And there's a reason why you have a dinghy with an outboard motor on the back. So they've learned their lesson slowly but surely. You know, that's young kids have to learn the hard way, and that's okay. That's the way they learn. So you barely edit your videos. Oh, King of Chuck, I edit. Well, no. Okay, most of the videos I've been putting out lately, I agree with you. Right now, I am not making the kind of content that I want. And so when I shoot my video, I shoot it with my cell phone, and I do a one-take wonder. I just go and I shoot it. Now, I will tell you, there's been a number of times I've done 2 or 3 or 4 takes of something. In fact, some of the content I've recorded probably 20 different tries at it and have not been happy with the way it sounded to me because it didn't make sense to me, or I go off on tangents or whatever. And so you'd be surprised. There's a lot more editing in there than what you might think. Maybe you don't see the, you know, classic cuts and scene changes from this to that or what have you, that kind of editing. But there's still a lot of control that goes on that kind of a video as opposed to a live stream. So less than barely. Okay. That was her husband. Outcast. Okay, so Rob was the guy that was on the boat with her when they started their channel that had the power boat, then they went and bought the sailboat. That guy. Okay. Tough to get sick of beautiful beaches. My icon is a pic I took of St. Thomas. Yeah, you know, beautiful beaches is you know, just kind of like this one here. You know, this is the live cam from the Soggy Dollar Bar and the BVI. You know, there's some beautiful beaches in the world, man. There's some really beautiful beaches in the world. So it would be very difficult to get sick of those. I imagine you would at times. So, Sailing Dutchman, hey man, I haven't seen you in a while. House closes on Monday in Freeport. Still working my butt off at the machine shop, just saying hi. Well, hey Dutchman, how you doing, man? Glad to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, so I'm glad you stopped in and said hello. So, yeah, I don't know about Sailing Miss Porn Star, which is what I always used to call her. But I can tell you from the content that I'm looking at, she seems to be doing nicer stuff. Now, Outcast, I hear what you're saying about a lot of the stuff that they're putting out is misleading. I think you'll find that's true of almost every YouTube creator. What they put out in their YouTube channel is very much, a lot of them is very much scripted and pre-prepared and pre-planned. And I mean, to the point, I know some of the people actually go out and do it like a television show where, you know, they'll have what's known as a script, and then they'll actually do frame boxes. Okay, this is what they call frame boxes. I don't know if you can see that. And then they'll have, on this scene, this is what we're doing. And then on this scene, this is what we're doing. And on this scene, this is what we're doing. And they'll actually plan out an entire video, much like television shows do. I have some experience with television production. And so when we make a storyboard, which is what that's called, that helps you develop the script and lay out how you're going to present your video. And I'll bet you that 90% of these channels creating content are laying out something along those lines. Some of them are. Not all of them, but some of them are. When you look at people like, you know, Delos and Vagabond and some of the bigger ones, Gone with the Winds, you know, those guys are scripted. They're telling the story that they want to tell. Some of it is about what they're doing. A lot of it's, you know, they don't tell you about a whole lot of the stuff that they go through and deal with all the time. So that's just a reality of it. Austin says, we want to take a trip to Italy and the islands in Greece this summer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Santorini is very much on my bucket list of things I'd like to do. So, point is, you are doing it real. I prefer real. LOL, she is far from it. Okay, well, I agree with the Outcast. I try to be as real as I possibly can be. Austin Adventures, like Distant Shores TV, basically a cable show on YouTube. Yes, exactly, Austin. Yeah, yeah. Distant Shores is very much a scripted television show. Paul and Sharon have been doing that show for many, many years, and you know they're professionals at it at this point. And you know what works for television doesn't necessarily translate to what works on YouTube, which is why Distant Shores TV, their channel is not as popular as a lot of the other sailing channels, although they've been doing it a whole lot longer, and have a lot more content and have all the technical expertise and editing and what have you. It comes over as being cold and calculated as opposed to being real. So it's portraying an image. Exactly, Declan, they're portraying an image. This porn star put a lot of work into her shots, lighting, B-roll, and editing. She creates decent story arcs in her videos, well thought out. I agree, Chuck. John Williams, are you going to grow a beard? You know, John, I've been thinking about it. I don't know. What do you think? Should I grow a beard? Actually, you know, I saw something the other day. It got me thinking. I was watching one of these old-timey, you know, television shows, and the guy had these like mutton chop. His mustache came down, and then it went into this big mutton chop sideburn thing. So it was a sideburn turned to a mustache, and all this stuff down here, it was all gone. And I was looking at myself saying, you know, if I did that, I would get rid of a lot of gray, and I might look a lot younger because I would just keep the dark stuff and get rid of the gray stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I might let my beard grow this time. We'll see. It depends. But once I get down to Florida and it gets hot, it may all go again anyway. So when I get scuba diving, the hair gets in the way. It's hard to keep my mask and stuff from leaking with all the hair. So, you know, I may go Telly Savalas once I get down there. You never know. So I've been editing safety videos for work for over a year, and I admit I pay too much attention to how things are shot and edited. Chuck, I agree with you. You know, you can do wonders editing a show, but what I was just trying to say is that most of your YouTube creators have edited scripted videos. That's not necessarily necessary to be successful on YouTube. Once I get on a boat and down in the Caribbean and I'm not selling real estate and I'm able to do the kind of work that I want to do, I'll go back to doing some of the edited stuff. I mean, I edit with Adobe Premiere Pro. So I'll be going back to editing and putting together some full-blown videos when I'm trying to tell particular stories. Right now, I'm busting my ass trying to make some money, and so my videos are kind of on the back burner. I'm putting out some content just to stay in touch with everybody, remind everybody I'm still alive and working towards a goal. But I'm not really making any kind of the content that I am that I really want to be making right now. So the new boat is beautiful, though. You're talking about Distant Shores' new boat. Yes. So Southerly 46, I think they're moving on to. Beautiful, beautiful boat. Very similar to Selling Yacht Ruby Rose's boat. Any headway on getting the grandkids swimming? Nope, none whatsoever. Palm Limit. My part of the stuff that I argued with my son and daughter-in-law about, apparently, now it's a long story, but my son's a bit overprotective of his kids, and so I don't know if they're ever going to learn to swim or not, but they will if I have my say about it. I think I'll just wait till I have the kids come down and visit me on the boat one time. So I'll probably be 20 years old by then, but I'm working on it. We'll figure something out. So, beard sounds like Dog the Bounty Hunters. My beard sounds like... Oh, you mean the mustache thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what Dog looks like. So, go for it on the beard. It looks good. Well, you already have a beard, so would you have to grow it longer? Yeah, I don't know. Handlebars. Yeah, maybe handlebars. That might be an idea. Need to get some mustache wax or some of that grease stuff. My youngest son, he actually uses beard oil in his beard. I don't think I would like that. It would give me zits and stuff. Andy, whole shot, man. How you doing? Didn't see the feed pop up. Did I miss an announcement? Yes, you did, Andy. Actually, 6 hours ago, I announced this live stream 6 hours ago on YouTube. So I don't understand why YouTube isn't forwarding those, but it's a problem, man. It's a problem. Yeah, nice to see you here, Andy. I was kind of hoping Dave would stop in. Dave Zyrie from Great Britain. I was thinking he might stop in and say hello, but he's one of the guys that contributed to my Sailing with Grandpa program. And instead of refunding him, which I'm going to do anyway, he wants me to take some handicapped people sailing. And I'm trying to figure out how to go about doing that and how I'm going to do that. I need to figure out people that want to go sailing that are handicapped. I mean, I already know that they do some sailing like that for like the Wounded Warriors project, but I don't think that's what he's talking about. I think he wants me to take a couple, like a husband and wife who are handicapped out sailing. And so I'm trying to work that out, but I'll figure that out. It'll get done. It will get done. So food to see you, Chuck. Okay, Declan, I don't think you spelt that right. Maybe you meant to say good to see you and you hit the F instead of the G. Good. Okay, there it is. Good to see you. All righty then. Well, we're having more fun than humans should be allowed. We've exceeded our hour here on YouTube land. I have an 18-stroke handicap in golf. Does that work? Hey, Chuck, I usually shoot in the 70s, man. Of course, that's only on 9 holes, but I usually shoot in the 70s. Seriously, I just got done watching the Masters tournament on TV. I was really hoping that it ended before I had to start my YouTube channel. I was really hoping Jordan Spieth was going to win. He was really coming on hot and heavy today, man. It was looking good there for a while, but it didn't happen. So for those of you that might be golf fans, yes, I'm one of those people. I can't play golf. I used to play golf quite a bit when I was younger, and then I hurt my back, and I haven't been able to play golf since. So, but I do enjoy the game. It's a frustrating game. What a stupid game. What a ridiculously stupid game. You go up, you hit a ball just so you can go walk over to where you hit the ball to and hit it again. Makes no sense whatsoever. Then you got to walk over to where you hit it and then hit it again. Crazy stuff. Have you seen that catamaran that is retrofitted for wheelchair accessibility? I think it's down in Florida. I don't know which catamaran you're talking about, but I have seen some catamarans that were set up for handicap accessories. Handicap accessibility. Yes, that's the word. 70s and 9-hole, love it. Yep, that's me. That's me. It's a stupid game. It certainly is. Seen a documentary on it a few weeks ago about that catamaran, huh? I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I know there was a group of sailors that were working with the Wounded Warriors Project. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. It's a program where they take wounded veterans, guys that have had arms and legs blown off, that kind of stuff, and they get them out doing stuff. And in this case, they actually set them up in like Optimus sailboats. They actually took them out or showed them how to sail and put them on a boat by themselves, which I thought was kind of wild. Anyhow, so you see these guys with, mechanical arms and stuff, handling the rudder and tacking back and forth and sitting in the bottom of this little Optimus type sailboat and sailing around. Pretty interesting stuff that they were doing. I did see just the other day, though, and I talked about this the other day in a video or live stream. I saw a girl in a wheelchair scuba diving, wheelchair and all. They actually had her strapped to her wheelchair, and her wheelchair was rigged up with the scuba gear, and it was also rigged up with propulsion units that would move it up and down and forward and back. And this girl was sitting in a wheelchair, going through the water in this wheelchair, underwater scuba diving. I thought that was pretty awesome. So if we can get somebody scuba diving in a wheelchair, I'm sure I'll figure out some way of getting somebody in my boat, even if I have to just pick them up and set them in the cockpit. I'm a pretty big guy. I can pick up most people. So it's a stupid game that affords you time to hang out with your buddies and drink beer, though. That's amazing. Yeah, King of Chuck, you know, for a lot of people, golf's just good exercise. Getting out, walking 18 holes on a beautiful day when the weather's nice, and you get to go out and walk through some nicely landscaped golf courses, you know, and the trees and the nicely cut lawn and the ponds and stuff. I mean, I appreciate being able to do that. I enjoy being able to walk out on a golf course and you know, knock the ball around. But on the basic premise, it's a stupid game. It really is. But it does have its moments. And, you know, when you watch games like the Masters that was on today, and you see these guys and you see them make some of these incredible shots. And if you've ever tried swinging a club at a ball, you know just how incredible they are. You know, watching these guys hit balls through the forest and through the trees and with absolute confidence. You know, they just knew exactly where that ball was going to go. And it was just amazing to me that they could have that much control over something like a golf swing and be able to hit that ball and have it land right where they want it to be. It's pretty amazing. But to really appreciate golf on TV, you've had to have played golf a few times to understand and appreciate it, because it's tough. I mean, it's a hard game. So, anyhow, Austin says that's amazing. There you go. The king has decreed hang out with friends and drink beer while golfing around. I concur. Yeah, I concur. But, you know, you don't have to be golfing. You could be doing a live stream on YouTube. Oh, good Merlot. Good Merlot. Yeah, you don't have to be golfing. You could be sitting here in my little garage in Ohio on my live stream talking to you people from all over the world. But you guys are all over the world. Some in the continental 48, some on across the pond. It's one of the really cool things about YouTube. I mean, I'm talking to people all around the world right now. I love looking at my analytics and looking at the demographics and where everybody's coming from. It just amazes me, you know, that I've got viewers in Egypt and Senegal and all over China. Just pretty amazing stuff. So, well, anyhow, guys, look, it's getting late. It's 8:11 p.m. on a Sunday night. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, unless you guys got something really important you'd like to talk about that I can help you with. Other than that, I think I'm going to, there you go, Ireland. Southern Cali, yep. Pretty cool being able to get to know people through YouTube. That's right, that's right. Yep. Declan, where are you in Ireland? I don't know if you realize it, Declan, but my family's originally from Wales, from the Rhondda Valley, at a little town called Uachtaráin. That's where we actually have a castle with our coat of arms, if you can imagine. The Brooke family, Brooke. We have a castle with a coat of arms in Ireland, or in Scotland, or in Wales. Excuse me, in Wales. So my family still lives in the Blasket Islands. My family is from Wales as well. Ah, cool, Austin. Just south of Dublin, Wicklow. Okay. Hey, Declan, have you been following, oh, no, I'm blocking. What's his name? Damn. Hold on, I'll pull it up here. Oh, gosh. I've been following his sailing channel for years. Him and his girlfriend are over in Ireland now. They had a guy jump on board the boat with them and sail over there together. Oh, now my computer's taking forever. Oh, well, it gets over there. What's his name? Him and his girlfriend are on a sailboat. They had a guy from Ireland fly over to the United States. They got on the boat with them. They sailed it back over to... Yeah, Paragon. Thank you, Outcast. Yes. Yeah, yeah. It's not Jake Paragon. That's not his name. It's Paragon is the name of the boat. And it's... oh, man... You know, when you get old and you've been drinking too much beer, or wine in this case, you get forgetful. Drake Paragon, Drake from Paragon. Yes, Drake is his name. Interesting stuff. Drake. Yep, there you go, Drake. Jake. Yeah. Anyhow, Declan, have you been watching them? They're over there someplace now. You should hang out and visit with them. They're somewhere in Ireland, or at least they were. Him and his girlfriend. She's a sweetheart. She's really a nice girl. You might want to check them out. Get on YouTube, get on their Facebook channel, and find them because they're over there. He's been doing videos and YouTubing for a long, long time. I mean, like maybe a decade at this point. And so you might want to check him out. But they're really nice, really nice people. Although 3 years behind on their videos, though. Yeah, so they're probably left Ireland by now, for all I know. But yeah, they're way behind on their videos. Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that, Outcast, because it's one of the other things that's been kind of a pet peeve of mine. So many of these YouTube channels are so far behind where they actually are. I was watching a video here the other day, and they were just posting a video from where Irma went through. That was like 9 months ago, guys. Come on. You know, I know Delos and them are like way behind where they actually are. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, I can understand the videos lagging somewhat behind where you are. I can understand that. But not 6 or 9 months. I mean, that's just crazy. There's no reason for something to be 6 or 9 months behind. So Tori, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I don't understand why you don't need to be that far behind. And what I laugh about is so many of these channels, oh, well, it's so much work, or in order to tell our storyline correctly, this is bullshit. It's called being lazy and not getting your job done. I just don't get it, you know. I just don't get it. I understand it also, but don't like it. Yeah, I don't want to understand it. There's no understanding there. There's not that much work. Okay, so we have a video editor on here, right? King, Chuck, you're a video editor. It doesn't take that much time. So if you're making video content in Cuba, and then you take a few days to sail from Cuba to Jamaica, let's say, then I can understand that you don't post your Cuba videos until you get to Jamaica. For safety reasons, if nothing else, it's a good idea to do that. But you don't go from Cuba to Jamaica to Mexico to Belize to Panama, up the Rio, down the Rio, through the canal, and now you're in Mexico over on the West Coast in the Pacific, and now your Jamaica content comes out. I mean, you just don't need to be that far behind. I don't understand why so many of them are so far behind. I also don't understand the limitation of why so many channels limit themselves to one video a week. It's not that much work, guys. I mean, if this is your job, if this is what you do for a living, if you're making the kind of money that some of these creators are making through their Patreon and stuff, you don't need to limit yourself to one a week. You could be putting out a video every day. And don't tell me it's not possible, because, you know, you look at some of these YouTube creators, some of the big YouTube creators, they're putting up extremely well edited videos every day, daily. Now, okay, I understand you're on a sailboat, you're cruising, you may not have access to good internet or what have you, so that develops some sort of a lag. But once you do get good internet, you can upload a whole bunch of videos and set them up on a schedule to be released while you're moving from this good internet to the next good internet if you're planning ahead. So, just what I'm saying. Just watch his last video, and that's a few years ago. I think I met him in the Harbor Bar a few years ago. I was drunk. Okay, Declan, I get it. So you think you met Drake, huh? Okay. Austin Adventures. Well, it's been great talking with you, Grandpa, and everyone else. I got to go. My crockpot beef fajita is done. I've had to smell it all day. And I'm okay, man. You guys go ahead and eat, Austin. We'll talk to you later, buddy. I'm going to wrap this up now anyway. So let's go ahead and use that as a means of ending the video, because I need to get some more grape juice and get some sleep, because I have a busy day tomorrow. So, Guys, let's go ahead and end this here unless you got something else you want to jump in on. But we're going to go ahead and end this and take off. Let's see. Later, Austin. Later, Austin. See you, Austin. If it wasn't him, it was his twin. Okay. Hit like before you go. Yeah, guys, please do like and subscribe. Hit the little bell so you get noticed of announcements if that's working. I don't know, but we'll catch you guys later. So, hey, guys, I hope we're going to see each other pretty soon. I expect to be here in the near future. When I say here, I mean sitting there, not necessarily at the Soggy Dollar Bar, but sitting someplace where I've got my feet in the water and my ass in the sand, listening to some good music with a cold beer in my hand. Isn't that a nice thought? So, anyhow, guys, you all take good care of each other. We'll see you later. If there's anything you need from me, be sure to ask in the comments and make comments. If you're watching this video after the fact, please do like and subscribe and comment in the comments down below what it is about the sailing genre that you find so interesting and why you want to go ahead and live there. So, or why you want to follow up in that kind of transition. And Andy, in answer to your question, yes, the Soggy Dollar Bar has been completely rebuilt and is reopened. So you should head on down to Joost Van Dyke and have a good time. So, guys, we're going to end this here. You all take good care of one another. We'll catch you later. This is Grandpa signing off, guys. Be good and be careful. We'll catch you later. Bye.